No. Okay, so now you're going to be able to hear me, that's for sure. And I'm going to turn that off. So let's check that out. So bizarre how you have your settings all set up and then you start stuff and it doesn't work. So let's see now. Now we can. All right, excellent. Excellent. Sorry about that. Always got to have a little technical difficulty. That's just the way I roll because I am an absolute idiot when it comes to technology, man, as Ali G used to call it. All right, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is on. We are ripping up. Ripping up. Thanks for joining today. We're gonna have a little chat here about some stuff we got in here. Eldera, not too familiar with. Thanks for the answers, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to talk about a quick concept here while this is moving up and up and up. All right, and it came up yesterday in the Discord, and I'm just going to talk about it pretty quickly here today. So we're looking at an obvious range that we're in, right? You could call this a descending channel. There's a lot of people calling it a wedge. It's a bit of a weird wedge, but okay, I can go with that. So when we're approaching the highs here, or the lows, or anywhere, but especially when you're sort of in the middle zone here, it's very important to have your sort of zones established, right? What are you looking for? That is very important to do. But a great exercise to do, especially if you're not in a trade, is to think about what is the trade that's running out right now. So what are people trading and where would it be going to? So there was this obvious zone down here that everybody was really interested in, this wick down here, right? So it comes down, takes out that wick, and then starts going. So this is the obvious trade that everybody is in, right? And think to yourself, why would people take this, right? So if you don't understand why it pivoted here, it's a very good exercise to look to the left and start to try to figure out why it would pivot there, right? Very helpful. And now while you're trying to plan your trade, so let's say you're thinking about maybe shorting as price comes up into this high here, which is a very good idea. All right, you've got these pretty much equal highs here, which is a great zone to come up and sweep and then come back down, which seems like it's kind of playing out right now, but doesn't look like it's doing a great job at the moment. But as price is moving up, if you're looking for the shorts, you've got to think to yourself, like, what is the trade here? And it'll give you some pretty decent insights as to what's going to happen along the way, right? So this level right here, while it is a very, very good looking level here to think about taking a short, right? Again, hitting equal highs, great liquidity zone, come up, sweep it, and then go down. It's not really taking it very convincingly. So I would like to see it, not just kind of wick through that so slightly. Maybe a nice big wick would be more exciting for me. So the question is then, how is the market moving and what's going on here? So if you think about taking a short down here, and if then you start looking to the left and think, well, where's the good take profits? Where's the stop losses? All right, just think about that. Okay, this was obviously a great place here as well with equal highs to come up and snag a little liquidity, but we just ran through it and then used it as support. So this would have been an obvious sort of interesting zone here to take profit. This not so interesting, right? It's just a little tiny pullback and then continuation, but still kind of interesting. And so this high really becomes the place that you would be really looking to take profits, right? Now, having said that, if you're looking to trade this potentially up to new all-time highs, which could be in play now because we have swept out the low of this range that we've been in since November. Right, so this was the low that everybody figured we had unfinished business down here. We needed to come back down and sweep that to then turn around and go, and off we go. That's what's happening, right? So while this is a very decent place to be looking for a move to the downside, it's going to be an obvious take profit zone. So people right now likely are taking profit. Right, so price moves into that zone, you get that little rejection, and this could be all people sort of just taking profit right now. All right, hope that makes sense. It's also this big level here that is obvious resistance, even though it's liquidity, right? But if we look back, it's been a pretty big zone a few times, all right? So resistance, 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 support, resistance, 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 etc., right? So pretty big zone here. So even though this is an obvious take profit zone and a very interesting zone to take a short, you know, we really got to be careful up here. And that is for a couple of reasons. All right, number one, like I said, we've taken out the low, so it would make sense to go up and challenge that high. Not that we're going to do that today, but even if we do get a nice pullback here, how nice is it going to be? We will see. Time will tell. Right? Nobody's got a crystal ball here, but it's a very good exercise for you to think about what is the market doing, right? So not necessarily what you're doing. You know, if you missed that long down there, it's what is the market doing? How is the market moving right now? And it seems to be moving quite well, right? You've had a couple of little pullbacks, but nothing spectacular. And it looks pretty bullish right now. So that's on the short term. On the higher time frames, obviously, we're still looking a little peckish here. Right, on the 4-hour time frame, we've got our high, we've got our low, we've got a lower high, and then a lower low. All right, and as price is pushing up now, we are testing this. And if we can close a daily candle above this, then we'll be getting ourselves a nice market structure change of character that we can then look to capitalize on. If you haven't gotten in the long, that'll give you some good reason to not start looking for the short and exiting out of your position here. Or if you're looking to swing trade this, you know, this would be a fantastic place to not close out your full trade, because again, we've taken out this low. Right? Hope that makes sense. If anybody's got any questions, just throw them on up there. Okay, on the other side of things is if we look on the daily chart and we just think about how the week has progressed so far, we've got our opening range, right, of the week, our initial balance, Monday, Tuesday. We break Tuesday in breakout. Price then comes back down to find support here on Tuesday's high. Unbelievable, but true. All right. That's where we found the support yesterday. And again, because we have formed our initial balance and price has broken out of it, we don't expect it to move too far down. It's definitely not going to put in a new low. So we're kind of expecting it to go higher. Does it have to go higher? No. Especially after a day like yesterday. It's a little bit on the scary side there. But doesn't look too bad, right? Took the previous day's high. Then price, you know, gave us all a bit of a scare there, but then rebounded really nicely. It really sucked it back up. Now, this isn't the best looking candle. I'm not a big fan of odd colored hammers, which is what this is. You know, it's a red candle, but it looks relatively bullish, right? The other thing is that it actually put in a higher high and a higher low. So in terms of market structure, it's just higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And now it seems like we're going to be pulling the same thing off here, all right? Higher high and higher low. We've swept the previous day's high already, so we're likely not going to go to the previous day's low. 80% chance, 80+% chance. So it's looking relatively decent here, and it is Friday. So Fridays are those kind of strange days where when these moves start on Friday, sometimes they don't stop, all right? I believe it's Stacy Burke who calls for Fridays. No, he doesn't call Fridays that, but he's always looking for a setup called Free Cash Fridays. Free Cash Fridays. It sounds kind of nice, I ain't gonna lie. So price has really just kind of moved up, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be pulling back. Now, we should get a little bit of a pullback here, but where is price going to land? That is going to be the question. So one of the important things to do here is the same thing. We do it every single day, right? Make sure you've got that previous day's high marked out, because that will likely now become some sort of support if we make it down there. I'm not saying we do, but it definitely might. We've also broken potentially this daily level here. So that is pretty huge. All right, might get a little pullback and give that a shot. If we pull back to the lower time frames, you can see that we hit it, took it, finally use it as support, and now we're trying to really move away from there. Now this isn't a guarantee, right? Because again, we're looking at a daily chart and we're just trading above on a 3-minute chart. So this could just be a wick that's forming on the day and could come on down. So one of the important things to be doing here would be looking at your momentum indicators. You're definitely going to have divs here, so be aware of that. Let's check out the RSI. Okay, so you can see some pretty obvious divs kind of forming on the way up here, putting in higher highs and lower highs on the RSI. But that's to be expected when you're just kind of moving up and up and up and up. It will lose some momentum, right? So price might come back on down to this previous high, and then let's see what goes on with that. Okay, let's close this up and we'll just get on a bit of a higher time frame here, not much higher, but we'll look at the 12-minute time frame. This is a Crypto Viking special. Join our Discord and you can get all kinds of lessons from Crypto Viking as well as the Zulu Goat, Mr. Andy. Link is in the description. Okay. So the other question, another question we had in the Discord was about the money flow. All right. So here you can see the money flow on the 12-minute chart, which is about as low of a chart as we look at it. Don't forget Mr. Sos. Yeah, no, I can't forget Sos. I just feel like I mentioned Sos too much and I'm starting to give him a complex. You see, he hides now. He's not even here. So he's shy, Sos. He's a shy little fella, but we love him all the same. So you can see here that the money flow is turning around, all right? It's on a downward trajectory, so that's never a good sign. And that was a question we had about the money flow. So when you start to come down to a zone and you start to see it turning around, right? That's a pretty good indication. It doesn't have to be green for you to hop in along. So what you want to see is divs with money flow looking good, and then you can get on in, right? So for example, here you have this obvious div here. All right, money flow is kind of ebbing. It's not a great time to be looking for a short here. You're putting in higher highs, all right? And now you're still putting in sort of equal highs here, and it's curving down. So what I would wait for personally is another wave here just to see if we can take this high on the money flow or if it just keeps on going down, all right? So that's how I would handle that. As far as what is next for Bitcoin, all right, we had a late night session yesterday in the lounge, and you know, this was a short that was taken by Mr. Sultan. So the Sultan of Saudi took the short there. I didn't take it, and one of the reasons I didn't is because of the time. Sorry, that wasn't the short. Yeah, it was the short. Yeah, it's right there. So bad time for me. I don't really like looking at trades at that time of the day. But again, you know, where are we going? And that's sort of that thing. Why would I look to take a trade here if I'm kind of interested in it going further up, right? I really wouldn't. I might be looking at this to take profit, something of that nature. But it was a trade based on selling tail and not much else really. So Jokerin also took it. So hopefully you squeezed out. It was still a nice move. Yeah, I didn't see that you took it, Jokerin. Sorry, buddy. But like, you know, you could have at least squeezed out a good 2% here, even if you got in a little bit late. So yeah, hopefully y'all made out like bandits on that. I did not, but my long is thanking me. So that's good. So that's really where we're at. We got to see here, does this hold? Remember, we're on a daily level right now. We have swept that high. So let's see what's gonna come about this. All right. If we go down on the lower time frames. All right, we're still hitting these equal highs here. Right, and we are currently trading right around them. So not a great reaction here. You would have liked to see it a little bit more aggressive, sort of like a swing failure pattern, some real aggression coming off it. But that doesn't mean it's a done deal yet, right? So again, we really got to close the daily candle above this level. And in terms of these equal highs here, we'll just get down on the lower time frames and kind of check out what is going on here. So don't be fooled by the divs, I guess is what I'm trying to tell you here, all right? Let's take a quick peek here at the TPO chart on the bit. Oh, I thought this was on dominance. All right, perfect. And if you guys can hear some noise in the background, I apologize, but it is Friday and there is a lot of cooking happening here because we got some wild rabbit and we're grilling one up, we're stewing one up, and we're going to have a bunch of people over this evening. So if you can hear some funky kitchen noises, I apologize, but it does get a little loud sometimes here. Okay, so we've got a obvious row of single prints here. Yep, good, 50. Looks pretty decent. And also the day looks pretty good. All right, for the upside, it's very thin. There's no real big bulges in the middle. It's looking pretty decent for upside. Again, we've got a poor high here, so doesn't look like there's much resistance building up at this high right now. We would have liked to see a bit of a better reaction. So we might get another push up and then back down. Oh yeah, funky kitchen. I like it. Yeah, that's it, Tommy Verpe. Oh, he's funky pants. All right. Funky kitchen, baby. That's going on. I got to try to remember everybody by two names now. Funky pants is Tommy Verpe. All right. So yeah, it looks pretty decent right now, right? Just be careful if we do get a big reaction a little bit higher, all right? And price comes down. But really this daily level, it's looking pretty decent for support. This previous day's high is also looking very decent for support. And then if we bring it on down to a 15-minute chart here. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to actually extend this bad boy to the left real quick. Oh. They won't let me do it. All right, never mind. Of course, they won't let me do it. You got to put a horizontal line there. Okay, so on the 15-minute chart here, all right, we've got this order block, which is now right underneath this previous day's high, right? It held, broke, quick retest of it and gone. So we've now got a breaker block here that is held, always a good sign. Price still might come down and test this once again. You know, the market often likes to test things twice. All right, so that is a huge possibility. And then on this daily, you've got really a pivot, which is a pretty nice looking pivot, but there's really not much here, all right? So what you're gonna be looking for really is this high. That is really about it. And in terms of the support underneath this daily level, we've also got a funky order block right here. I'll mark that out. Okay, and obviously this whole consolidation zone can be used as a support, all right? And this one, you see it didn't really do much at all. Price just broke right through it, and then molested it a little bit here and then moved away. So it can still potentially act as a breaker block here. Price has not come back to really retest it, but a lot of people would call this washed out by now, all right? But you never know with these blocks, all right? So I'm not saying to take it as gospel that it might work, right? The fact that it got ran through and then ran through twice is not the best looking sign, but then it consolidated here inside of it. So this little consolidation zone here is pretty decent, all right? Kind of gives a little bit of validity to some support here. All right. So are you guys, what do we got here? What we're gonna do, we're gonna do a quick poll, all right? All right, there you go. There it is. What do we got? Enter your answer. All-time high, yes or nah. Where are we going here? So what I would yeah, I'm not going to answer before you guys do. I'll let you figure that out. Time period? Well, we don't have to be specific, Marius. Let's say in this move here, all right? So is this going to be the move that goes up and takes the 108K? Maybe hit 110 now? You know, it doesn't have to be this week or next week, but in this general move here. So from this swing low to the next swing high, are we going to take it? Oh, it looks pretty split down the middle so far. Jeez, 50-50. Tough crowd. Tough crowd. All right, I'm going to pop out here onto the weekly. Let me hide all of this stuff real quick. All right, so we have a little bit of an oddity here. All right, but on the weekly chart, this is more, it's actually a little more common than it would be on other charts. But it's still, probabilistically speaking, when you sweep one extreme of the previous weeks, you're not going to sweep the other extreme. And we've actually done that. So this is a pretty neutral sign, but this is a very bullish candle. So if we can close this week out pretty bullishly like this, with a lot of buying into the end of the week, wow, yes, look at these guys. Yes, 60%. I'm gonna have to be going with more of the yes sort of idea here, right? And the reason is, again, we've swept out that crazy wick that we were looking at. We've taken it out. We've put in a very bullish weekly candle. We might get a little pullback still, right? Obviously. But before we take this low, I do believe we take this high. All right, let's take a peek here at take a peek at the RSI on this. Okay, so we put in these massive divs. All right, and all we've done is consolidate so far. And price did not really tank at all here, so it's not really gone anywhere. And now we're turning it back around. So if we can get above this 70 line here, I can't see it not taking out those highs. All right. Okay, so what have we learned today? Not much, except you got to look back, make sure you understand what trade is happening at this point in time and what's going on. All right, the NASDAQ also pretty crazy. All right, now today I haven't traded, so all I've been doing is preparing food. I think we go higher because of the sweep of the wick, but maybe not in one shot. A little pullback and ranging, maybe a swing failure pattern. Yeah, that sounds pretty reasonable. Funky Pants. Sounds pretty reasonable. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be in one shot. What the hell? We have a birthday celebration for a little girl here tomorrow, so I have to go. Have a great day, everyone. Oh my God, what are you doing with the super chat? That's psychotic. Zulon. Well, is that your little girl? If it's your little girl, you should have given her that $50 and said it was for me. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Oh, all right, buddy. And when I say $50, I know it's $50 Norwegian. Crazy, but yeah, man, you enjoy yourself. I hope that child is yours, man. Gonna have to give you a big thumbs up there. And yeah. Hey, that makes it that's actually the first super chat ever. So thanks for that, Zulon. He's going to give the little girl a Bitcoin instead. Yeah, good idea. I'll keep the 50 Norwegian kroners. Okay, so yeah, that's what I think too, right? I don't think we're going to go up in one foul swoop here and take that. So I'm feeling pretty bullish. Now, having said that, right, there's a lot of stuff up here that we can kind of get caught up on. We've got a massive order block here. That would be a great place to take a little bounce off, then come back and start to work our way up, and then swing failure pattern this high here. Get a nice pullback off it. My little girl, of course. Excellent. Excellent, my man. Well, go have fun with the family, my man. Thanks for all the things you do. Remember, people, to join the Discord. Zulwan will thank you. And so will I. Link is in the description. But yeah, buddy, have a good weekend too. We'll talk on Sunday, I guess. That's going to be the next zone of celebration. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong chart, talking about Bitcoin. But it's relatively the same thing. It's all looking relatively the same. Yeah, so even if we do take this high, this will be a great place for a swing failure pattern, right? It would be a great place. And then it will kind of stabilize this range. All right, what do we got here? It's time. So cute little gap up there. That's like a little bit of a give me there for the New York Open. That's pretty wild. Gap up. There's your pre-market high. New York Open starts to come down. You know, that's a pretty easy short off the open. That's very rare that they give you this on the New York Open, but that's nice. All right, would have got you a quick, let's see here, 46. Ooh, almost a quick 40 points there. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, let's take this back to the, take it to the 30-minute chart and just check out what's happening here. Hello. Absolutely nuts. So again, in the spirit of free cash Fridays, that's really what's going on here, right? I mean, it's pretty incredible here. You've got your so there is your previous day's close. Here's your previous day's high. And obviously your previous day's lows right here. Price opens up on a gap, comes down, fills the gap, hits the previous day's close, and then never looks back. So there's your free cash Fridays on the NASDAQ. Pretty unreal. And there you go. Comes in, hits the previous day's high for support. Wild. That looks like it should be filled as well. I'm not going to lie. And then maybe come out and take some liquidity out of London. This low looks pretty interesting. And if we come all the way down here, that'll be nasty. But there are huge imbalances here to fill in, right? It's just fair value gaps all the way down. So that could definitely happen. Let's take a quick peek at the bit. All right. Yeah, New York grabs a quick little bit of liquidity off of these lows. Here comes the push. Yeah, so right now I would be really, really considering the fact that the next nice short is going to be at the highs. Now that might change, right? So right now we've got not much that we're kind of looking. We've taken up all of those single prints that were hanging out. Again, let's take a quick peek here on the TPO. All right. Okay, so poor high. All right, the next thing we've really got to look for now. All right, so we had that selling tail. Here's a poor high, and here's a poor high. So, it's not looking that difficult. Okay, so on this poor high here, you actually do have a mini selling tail, but it's only 3. So you can't really call it a poor high, but it is a poor selling tail. It's not a great selling tail. So this is that place where you have a lot of potential for price to come over and then create a nice selling tail. And then you can call that a selling tail on a selling tail and really look for that swing failure pattern up there. All right. We've got this naked point of control here. That one's been hit. So yeah, naked point of control on both volume and time here. So that's pretty interesting looking. And that comes in at around 104, 104.60-ish. All right, so that might start getting us to think a little bit here. So that's right in this fair value gap on the 30-minute chart. And that's where we are right now. No. Well, we're getting pretty close. Yeah, if we can get past that, then it's more in this order block, actually. All right, so that half-hour order block is going to be pretty important, I would say. Everything changes now with the fib pull. Got the 786 up there. Go for it, New York. I'm just going to pop this off, head down to the... Actually, we'll check out the 3 and look at the volume on this. Could we check out Solana quickly? Yeah, we can. So I hope everybody remembers this channel that we're talking about. Got the fake out, then the fake out, and now the breakout. So Solana's looking, you know, it's got a long way to go here. It really has had a rough go of it. So let's just check out this daily chart here. Yeah. Just a nasty move down. So even just to get back above that high, it's got quite the ways to go. But I think Sol's one of those coins that as it was coming down here, I know we were talking about this like a good month ago when it was coming down in this channel. I really like it, man. I gotta say. Let's just pop this out to 4, see what we can find here. All right, so here we are in this 4-hour order block right now. And again, it doesn't seem to be giving a huge reaction here. This candle's only got an hour and 20 minutes left in it. This low doesn't look that great, but it's strong, but it's that same kind of idea there. It's a big wick, a lot of imbalance down there. That is a great zone for a sweep, but we don't have to go there. Doesn't have to happen. Yeah, man, I'd say if we can get over this right now, then I think it's looking pretty damn good. What we got here? Low, lower high, a lower low. Start to put in a higher high here. And then wait for a pullback. Maybe even put in a close to a double bottom here and then go. It doesn't have to. There's a lot of things here. Look at that on the 30-minute. Wow. Wednesday. So you got a big old row of single prints here. Yeah, I'd be marking that off for sure. Thanks. Fib pull's hard to do here, maybe. Nothing changed until it closes above 223 to 228. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Until it closes above here, nothing changes. And has to close, right? Gotta get a daily candle close. But I mean, this is a really good looking push, right? But this was a pretty good looking push as well, too. So, but it does look pretty strong, man. It's actually at least coming up to challenge this high. So that's a very good look, man. It's a very good look, I have to say. From the doom that it was looking like, and everybody kind of crapping its pants. Crapping their pants, sorry. So there's that. You've now got this potential little breaker block here inside of this fair value gap. That'll be interesting. Okay, this one already played out. Not a legit order block, but a cute little pivot there. All right, you get a bearish engulfing on this pivot. Price comes in, hits, goes. But this one looks even better, really. Oof. That's a good looking order block right there too. That's a very good looking order block. So this is what you would call order block / origin candle. Can we check ETH, please? Yes, we can. McAlpha Chavin. We can definitely check ETH. But yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. I had one. It had 1 hour shift on Wednesday, but hasn't retested GP, and also that 5% candle seems to have fair value gap waiting for fill. Sorry here. How did it? That 5% candle. We're looking at the 1 hour. This is the 5% candle, I'm guessing. Maybe retest the OB you mentioned before, bigger push. Well, you haven't, like, you know, now you've got a order block right here as well. That is a very weird place to be looking for a trade on this big push up here, so I'd be careful with that. But it's creating quite a bit of support here, so you know that's really what you want to see. Let's take a peek at that, at this big push here. All right, so really nothing here. You get an order block here. That's where that wick wept through. Then you get a little wacky zone here that doesn't do anything. This you could at most call it a demand zone, but those are horrible candles. All right, you pretty much got two dojis. You don't really want to be building rally patterns off of dojis. This one is definitely there. That's a great looking base, actually. And it works as a breaker base, which is not really a concept, but not that one at 12. 15th of Jan, 12 o'clock. 15th of Jan. This bad boy. This bad boy here, yeah. With the single prints. Yeah. This is a nasty little order block here too. It's just like this one as well. All right, and you do have an order block here that's going to be in there as well. This one here, the fair value gap. No, this is single prints, right? So this is a fair value gap on the 30-minute chart. Okay, so the fair value gap is going to look like so. That's your fair value gap. Right, big old fair value gap. But this is Wednesday and Wednesday. So as price comes up here, there's a row of single prints. It's the only part on the chart that has been played through with one candle, right? So inside of this fair value gap, you've got a big old row of single prints, all right? So both are valid. If the single prints get hit, then you're looking at the bottom of this fair value gap and this order block down here. And this origin candle, all right, this is the candle that builds up to this crazy move. So this is going to be an important little zone. That's why I really like this order block here, because this origin candle, that's a really good looking little order block, I have to say. But then the question becomes how far is that going to go, right? Do we need a bigger retrace to really get things moving in the right direction? Starting to dump a little bit. But yeah, that's what I'd be looking for, something around there. That's a cute little potential breaker block now in a fair value gap. Really nice little origin candle slash order block. And this zone is pretty interesting too. I mean, look at that resistance, resistance support. So you get quite a few hits here on this zone. That's an obvious supply support and resistance zone there. So yeah, that's what I'd be sort of looking for. But that is a very aggressive move. Single print. Thanks for clarifying. Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, if you're on a chart, like I don't think you could pull up a TPO chart on Sol. You might be able to here. Let's check that out real quick. See if it's got the data for it. Oh, it does. Snap. Nice. So there you go. There's your single prints right there. Those are weird ticks. That's a weird size. So let's just check this out here. What size are these guys using for ticks? 90. What? Really? Yeah, let's call that 80 cents. 80 cents to 40 cents. So 60 ticks. So that's a cent. A tick size for Sol is 1 cent. All right. 1 cent, eh? I think I might be pumping that up a little bit. But what you got to do, so on the when you have assets that are this cheap, right, on the TPO, what you want to do is confirm it by looking back. All right, so this might be the best sort of setup here, but I would doubt it, man. So here you go, single prints there. Price hits into them, doesn't all react. and just keeps going. All right. Yeah, like very little reaction there. Sweeps, then comes back down. So yeah, I would not trust this. Would not really be trusting this. There's a nice one. So you got your buying tail. Next day, price comes down into the buying tail, and then goes. So that's the first sign of respect I've seen. Oh, and then it comes, no, doesn't quite come into that selling tail. Can't get past the value area high, turns around. Yeah, you're gonna have to play with that. Play with it because it doesn't look great. All right, but that's what I would say. Yeah, I'd be looking for all those sorts of levels for the pullbacks. And then you can definitely pull a fib off of the pullback here, all right? So if you're looking for fibs, you've obviously got a clear low here. That has swept, right? And then just as price pushes up there, just pull your fib. And then if you're having problems with pulling a fib from back here, just zoom out, man. That's what I would recommend. Zoom out and think about it until it starts to make sense, right? So now you've got this obvious high here. You've got this low here. Right, so when in doubt with the fibs, just zoom out and use more as sort of the macro level stuff. All right, so you can see now we're going to be approaching a golden pocket. This is a support resistance zone already, so some good stuff happening there. And then if you can fine tune something on the lower time frames, 4 hour, 1 hour, half hour sort of stuff, find order blocks, fair value gaps, all that stuff we're always looking for. Boom, that's it. Okay, let's take a peek at ETH. McAlpha Chavin. McAlpha, are you in the Discord channel? Just so I'm not sure who I'm talking to. I might not know you. I might know you. It's always kind of weird when I'm on YouTube. So let's check out the ETH. Big Trouble ETH. Yep, Big Trouble ETH. Okay, hold on. Let me just take a quick peek here. Oh. Okay, so let's just zoom in a little bit here. So yeah. How do we use single print? Apologize if you have explained before in your previous videos. Oh, fun time killer. All right, we'll talk about it in a minute. I can't really stay too long today, but I can kind of give you the quick overview. There's something that you don't want to start using them right away. You want to gain some confidence with them, start watching them, start looking for confluence with them. But we'll talk about it in a second here. All right. Okay. Oh, this is what's killing me about ETH right now is I'll explain it to you. All right, so this is kind of the thing I hate seeing Well, I don't hate seeing, I actually love seeing it, but no worries. If you have explained in previous stream video, you can share the link for me to self-help. I don't think I have. I don't really talk too much about single prints on YouTube. Full-time killer, are you also in the Discord group? And if you are, what's your handle in the Discord? Just so I know who I'm talking to. So when you have this, right, the 50 EMA, that's all this yellow line is. And we've got now price moving down and does some nice consolidation below it. All right, even though it's put in double lows here and then turns back around. It really starts to make me start thinking of an M. Oh, it's Ivan the Terrible. All right. Ivan the Terrible. Yeah, we've talked about them quite a bit, but we'll talk about them more. So the weird thing about single prints is on TradingView, you really gotta take your time with it because of the ticks. All right. So we'll talk about that in a second though. And then I'll look at it on Bitcoin. I'll tell you what ticks to use on Bitcoin because it's pretty simple. But yeah, when you see this consolidation on the other side of the 50, and then it breaks back above it, this is the way that we really set up M formations. All right, so this could be just a big nasty M setting up here. So look for price to come up into here and see what happens. It would be great if it didn't and it just kept going here. But it is a pretty nasty looking thing. All right. Okay, the other thing now is this hit where I was talking about this in the Discord quite heavily yesterday. Quite heavily. So that so far 64% think we're going up, baby. Let me now get rid of this. Just clean this up a little bit here. Okay, so we have this this really big hit off of a golden pocket here. Right, there was also an order block here, hit the top of fair value gap. Quite a few, pretty nice short here, I gotta say. The nice thing about it is that we've really got now 1, 2, 3 levels of drop, and then it did this weird little potential bottom formation, a W, and then started shooting up. But what happens for me right now is that this is, I can't really make a call on it. All right, and it's just the way I trade fibs that makes me do this, because what we've done is we've hit the golden pocket, come back down, and now hit the 382. And then hit the 382 again. So what I would imagine happens right now, and I'm saying the word imagine, all right, because it's just probabilistically speaking, this is my experience that this happens more times than not. What we'll probably see up here is a push, and we might sweep this high and hit into the deep end of this golden pocket. So hit into the whatever you use, 6-7, 6-6, 6-8, however you set up your golden pockets. And then it might turn back around and then do the same thing here. So we might just be putting in a consolidation here to then expand, and then turn around and go. All right. So I'd be very weary about both of these levels. All right. And it doesn't mean it has to turn around here or here. All right. It really doesn't have to. Now, if we hit off of the golden pocket again here and hit that deep end of it and then turn around and we lose this zone, we're going to come down and take out this low. And again, we've got a very magnetic looking low down here, right? So again, this is just a big row of single prints. It's a buying tail here. So this is really those kinds of zones where you're very interested in to see price go back here and clean up this imbalance. Plus we've got imbalance here. So that's the way I'd be playing it right now. If I was in a short here, I would definitely be weary that it's going to come up and sweep it. All right. And if I was in a long here, I'd definitely be taking profit up here and then shoring up my stop loss to probably around the 0.5 of this fib range. Oh, sorry. I've done this wrong. We did hit the deep end already. Hold on a second. I'm talking out of my ass here. Talking out of my ass, totally. Sorry about that, man. So we already hit the deep end. All right, now we're coming back to test it. So this is what I will say. This is everything I was saying is still holding true. All right, be careful. Price might be coming down here for this range. If we can break through this golden pocket here, then we should go take this high. But if we can't and it turns around and it breaks through this 382 and this 0.34, then we're going to go and take this low. And if not take it, we'll at least trade into it, all right? That's what I would say about ETH right now. It's in a bit of a no man's land, right? This is not a great place to be looking to take trades, right? You're right in the middle of this swing high and swing low. So a little bit on the sketchy. A little bit on the sketchy. So that's what I would say about that. So let's just take a quick peek then at Bitcoin here and single prints. All right, so on Bitcoin, what you want to do is have your tick set to 50. So just double click here after you have your TPO set up, and ticks per row you want 50. I can't remember what the default setting is, but I think it's like 60 or 70 or something like that. But you want 50, all right? Pardon me. A tick in Bitcoin is 50 cents on TradingView. So each block is going to be $25, all right? That's what you want for Bitcoin. And then on things that are much smaller, you know, 25 is a little bit too much to ask for. So each one of these blocks here is a move of $25. All right, you can see the low there, the value area low, which is the low of this block there, is at 96,000, and then up to the next block is 96,025, right? So it's a $25 block that represents a half hour candle. All right, so you see where it says RRR, right? And then R here, and then RRR. All right, so this is that half hour candle went all the way from here to here. All right. Okay, it would actually went from here to here, but that's the range of that candle. So those are your $25 representing half hour candle movements. All right, I really don't like the way that that TradingView uses a line chart on this. I think it'd be much more helpful if they used a candle, because then you're forced to kind of like move around and see, you know, there's a half hour candle started there, ended there, half hour candle started there, ended there. Then, you know, it'd be real nice to see a shadow of the candles and not a line chart, so you can kind of understand the movement a little better. But oh well, that's how life goes, and you can't change it in the settings. There's really not much to do here. It's just line. That's all you get. Okay, so moving on with the single prints, what you want to think about single prints is like they're pretty much just big imbalances. So we did have a row of single prints here that is now getting, sorry, I'll move on over to today's price. That's where I thought I was. All right, so we do have them here. Okay, so when you see a big row of single prints like we have right here, it just shows you that there's imbalance and volatility, and price is pushing up really quickly. All right, and now we are setting up single prints up here. So this is going to keep moving up, I believe, for the day. So there's a couple of ways that we can use the single prints. One of them is just to really understand the way price moves. All right, so Asia opens up. Here's your initial balance, this white line, the first two half-hour candles. And then price pumps up, leaves you a row of single prints, which now is going to act as support somewhat. All right, price pushes away. Now we've created another row of single prints, consolidate quickly and then move. So this is a trending day. This is what a trending day looks like. So this move is going to go for a little bit further and then it'll start to consolidate up here and it's likely going to leave 3 separate rows of single prints. All right, 1, 2, and 3. That's what a trending day looks like. Generally leaves 3 separate rows of single prints. So the next day, when price opens up and price comes into these, we can view these as support zones, all right? So when price first comes in, it's going to hit the ledge, all right, which is the top. It should get a little bounce there. And then when it comes back, it'll start eating in through the single prints. And then when it hits the floor, it should also get a little bounce, all right? Or sometimes a big bounce. So you use it with Confluence if you could find, you know, a golden pocket and single prints, stuff like that. It's fantastic. And then these will be left on the tails, all right? So let's take a peek at that so that we can sort of see what happened here in the last few days and get a real good idea of that. Okay, so we had that crazy wick. Oh, you're not gonna let me go and see that easily, are you? TPO. Okay. Hold on, I'm just gonna zoom out here real quick so I can figure out where the hell I am in space and time. This is what happens when you're trying to show something on the fly. All right, so there it is, December 5th. Okay, so here is that big nasty wick. Okay, so here's a huge selling tail, all right, or buying tail, sorry. So it's a row of single prints effectively that prints at the top or the bottom, right? If it prints at the top and you get a bunch of singles, we call that a selling tail. And if it prints at the bottom, we call it a buying tail. Okay, so you're gonna mark these out, all right? Something, okay, you mark those out, make yourself a template. All right, this is a tail, right? You've also got single prints. I have one for both because I just want to know the difference. So if price is coming back into this, I know that it's obviously a buying tail because a buying tail pushed price the other way, right? Okay, so let's just take a peek here then on the 30-minute chart. Why aren't you putting that big zone there for me? Come on now. Oh, come on, TradingView. What's going on here? Okay, anyways. So here we are. This is our buying tail. Price pushes away. It's the exact same thing as single prints, okay? So here we are now on the 9th of December. Oh, this is actually what I really wanted to see. You bastards. I'm sitting here wasting my time, man. December 9th. All right, the next day price comes into this and creates another buying tail here. All right, on December 10th, you see it's got another row there. So this is how I really like to use these, is not on the day of, right? Although this is a, you know, this could have been a great trade because that is the candle close there and there's the wick. So it was that really crazy wick that was really hard to catch. And then price comes back into it. I'm not sure this is the day. Something's weirding me out about this whole thing here. But this is exactly how you use it anyways. All right, you've got a row of single prints, which in this case is a buying tail. Price comes into it the next day. You're looking to see if this is going to hold as support, and then you put in another buying tail here. You can see it's not quite as big, but it's there. So you have a buying tail with another day come into it and print another buying tail. That is kind of what you want to see. All right, and then you push that up, or you hop into that long and take it. So very decent long indeed. And it just kept kind of giving. So that's how you would use that. And then single prints is kind of the exact same thing. You've got a, let's say this row here of single prints that you've left for that day. All right, when price comes back to it, you want to see how it's going to act. All right. So in this case, price comes into it and really doesn't react that well to it. All right, your first hit comes in and just kind of destroys it. All right, you can't see the wick, like you can't see the candle here, but you can tell by the TPO that price came all the way down here. All right, so that was a wick. Price pushes up. So this is a very, very weak sort of look here. All right, it's not something that that I would be interested in trading. All right, neither would this be. So it's really just a zone of interest that it creates, and then you're going to be looking out for it. All right, and then this big bad boy, same thing happened, and now here we get a row of single prints, which in this case, once again, it's a buying tail. Okay, next few days later, price comes into it, puts in a buying tail, and that's your buy signal. All right, so this came down, wicked into it, creates another buying tail. Yep. So buying tail here, you hop in. Again, it's the gift that keeps on giving. And then here we've got a huge day of single prints. So let me just get rid of some of this stuff. Okay, so here's a row of single prints, and you see this is a trending day, exactly what I was talking about. It's gonna most likely happen today. So one row of single prints, quick consolidation, another row of single prints, quick consolidation, another row of single prints after your quick consolidation, and then it ranges. All right, so this is a very typical TPO trending day. This is, most of the time, this is how it happens, all right? Not always, but most of the time. So we have 3 big rows of single prints. Price comes back into this row and just rips through it, all right? So one thing you want to kind of be aware of is that this is an imbalance, right? It's there. This is a fair value gap, but like a fair value gap on steroids kind of, all right? But a lot of times when you have these quick moves up, you're going to get those quick moves down, right? So if you're looking at this on the chart, it just looks like a big Bart Simpson pattern, right? Easy up, easy down, but you still want to be really aware of it and check out what's going on. So this just rips through that first row of single prints, rips through the second row of single prints, and comes into that third row of single prints, and finally you start to find a bottom here. But again, you don't put in any good signals down here. There's no buying tail. Okay, so now we can get rid of this and just move it over here to this row of single prints that has been left. Right, this you can get rid of, and now this I wouldn't get rid of it yet until the low is taken. All right, there's still single prints here to be had. All right, so you would just adjust this according to this day's low here. All right, and now you've got this big row of single prints up here that ate up a bunch of single prints down here. So this is the kind of zone that you look at and you start thinking of Long Island, which is a fair value gap pattern that you trade when you have a fair value gap up and then a fair value gap down. They call it the Long Island. So on the next day, price opens up, chews in real deep into this row of single prints, and then gives you that selling tail. Right, so now you've got a selling tail inside of single prints. That's your sell signal. right? So that's it. You're getting in on the sell somewhere. It was on this wick. That is your sell all the way down. So that's pretty much it. And then just be very aware of them, right? You can't open limit orders on them. All right. You don't want to take them as gospel, but you want to be very aware of these things. And when price hits into them, you want to watch for the reaction. All right. And that's really it for the single prints. There's not much more to kind of say. So let's just see what's going on here today with our, there you go. Price is just pinning high, and we've got 13 minutes left on this half-hour candle. Look at that, 104,000, baby. Let's take a peek on this. Oh yeah, look at that. Coming into that order block now. This is clear, yeah. All right, I hope so. Yeah. So it's personally, you know, I love TPO charts and I like them on TradingView, but I like them a lot more on Exo. You can bother McCool in the VIP section. He's in a weird time zone. He's in Vancouver, Canada, so he's like completely different time zone than us, Ivan. But if he's a very nice fella. He's actually a really nice guy, man. Super sweet guy. And ask him for some hints on Addis charts. Is he on Addis or Sierra? No, he's on Addis. So Addis is man, like I'm a tech idiot, honestly. I've never really been into computers, so even trying to get my sound up for a stream for you guys is brutally painful for me. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm getting better at it, and it's starting to get a little more familiar now for me to troubleshoot. But talk to him and see if you guys can set up a time where you can have a chat, or even just DMing each other, and he'll help you set up Addis, which is free. All right, I use ExoCharts, which is not free, but it's also not expensive. It's like $50 a month for the desktop, and like $27 a month, I think, for the web version. So, and then if you get on ExoCharts, you'll have, you know, I'll give you templates. Crypto Viking will give you templates. Andy's got a ton of templates. Never mind, Andy's templates are probably the best, I would say, actually. So we can all help you out, you know. But if you don't want to spend money, go to Addis and figure it out. It's not for Mac. That's another reason I don't use Addis, is because it's not. I only use Macs, man. I've used Macs since I was like 20, so using a PC for me is also brutal. And Addis does not comply with Mac. So that's what I would recommend, or just stick on here. But you know, we'll look at it in the lounge when you're around, Ivan. Maybe on Sunday. If you're around on Sunday for the VIP live, then we'll take a peek at it, and I'll just show you how clear it looks as opposed to this. This is very scrunched up. Like I've got a huge screen, man. I'm on a 27-inch screen, and this is just tiny. Like I can't make out how many prints are here or anything. And on ExoCharts, it's the blocks are much bigger looking. I've also, my template has everything marked out, labeled, so I know where the single prints start. I know where they end. I know how many rows there are. My point of control is marked out. Value areas all have values on them, right? So there's no real kind of guessing where you're just kind of like trying to figure it out here. So yeah, we'll take a peek, and then you do you do what you want, whatever you want to use. The reason I bring up Addis is because I know a lot of traders that use Addis, and the really the best traders I know, they swear by Addis. Like if you bring up ExoCharts, they'll just kind of start laughing and say, yeah, whatever. Like they love Addis, but it's got a much bigger learning curve than ExoCharts. ExoCharts is simple. Just pop in the template and that's it, really. So that's the big difference. No worries, man. I have my things from you guys to digest, so we'll check out later. Yeah. Yeah, check it out later. But the more you can, if you have access to the TPO charts, at least on Bitcoin, I highly recommend that you hop onto this every day. Look back, like at least look to the day before and see what do we got here. Here's a buying tail. Here's a selling tail. Just be aware of it, right? That's about it. And then when you get a hit to it, you understand what's going on. Like it's just one more thing, one more level of confluence for you. All right. So Biddy doing it. Let me just take a peek here at my sweet darling NASDAQ. I'm not going to be able to get any trades on Free Cash Friday NASDAQ, man. Too bad. Too bad. Previous day's high taken. Man. Beautiful. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to go, prep more rabbit. Start getting potatoes ready. Maybe open a bottle of wine and enjoy my Friday evening. So polls closing. The yeses have it. 58%. Bitcoin's going to 250K. That is a meme. I'm kidding. But yeah, I really do believe that we finished up quite a bit of business here. Let's go up now. We also have the macro time frame stuff to contend with here, right? But we're on our way, man. There we go. And into that, maybe get the pullback into the green pocket and then rip it up. Be real interesting to see how this plays out. Real interesting. But yeah, I think it's time. I think it's time. We got Donald taking over the White House on Monday. Oh, we can forget about socialists for 4 years now, unless of course you live in Europe like I do. Then we're all about the socialists. But it looks like the socialists are starting to get a little bit afraid, so maybe they'll start changing their tunes about putting everybody in the poorhouse, the bastards. And I'm not a right winger. I'm not. I don't generally get into politics, but sometimes there's enough social, and not enough. Let's think about this for a bit. Let's try to reduce inflation a little. There's people who can't buy bloody groceries right now. It's crazy. This is your last time to buy Bitcoin under $100,000. That's an absolute fact. Droxboxy. Who the hell's Droxboxy now? I know Droxboxy's from the Droxboxy's gotta be now from, I'm looking at the NASDAQ too. Droxboxy's gotta be from the Discord because that is one of our memes. And I'm all over the place today. Sorry guys. I started to feel like I already drank a bottle of wine. Yeah, I was looking at the NASDAQ there, but there you go. We're already well above it, so we're going. Droxboxy, who are you? What are you in the Discord? And if so, what is your handle in the Discord? Droxboxy might just be saying that. It might not be from the Discord. But I got a feeling you are. Let me see if I can... Nope, cannot. All right, anyways. We're close, man. We're only, $4,000 away, really. And then it's moon time. All right, anyways, that's going to do it, guys. If you want to see more of this stuff, or if you want to talk, join the Discord. Link is in the description. We also do live streams in there, oftentimes for the full group, where we get a little more in-depth into strategies and stuff. I'm actually worrying when people said last time to buy BTC under 100K. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think 90 was a very good level. 90 was a very good psychological number after you break into the hundreds and then you come back down. You know, I think 90 was a very good level to be buying, and it went down to 89. Thanks for the session. Enjoy your wine, potato, and whatever good foods and drinks. Oh yeah, baby. I've made all the dips. All the starters are good. The rabbits have marinated, so now it's just time. I'm making a stew with one, and another one's getting grilled up. Oven roasted potatoes with thyme. Gonna make a salad with a, not really sure exactly I'm gonna put in it because I'm gonna put a bunch of stuff in it. So not really sure, but I'll make some sort of vinaigrette for it anyways, and that's about it. And then my best friend's supposed to be coming over with his wife, and he called me and said his wife woke up this morning with an insane flu, and I was like, oh, what the, that sucks, man. I've been sitting here prepping all kinds of stuff. He's like, oh, I'm still going, don't worry, I'm not sick. I was like, you bastard, gonna leave your wife at home? All right, man. Anyways, it should be fun. Oh, but all right, guys, you have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you guys in the Discord on Sunday for the VIP stream. And for those of you who are not in the Discord, see you on Monday for another New York Live session. Thanks. Have a great one.